So today I have Jordan Mormon with me, and we're going to talk about what Students for Life of America has been working on. I used to work there a few years ago for about 3 years, and we want to talk about how their fall tour is going. So, Jordan, do you want to tell us what areas you cover and maybe just a brief intro about Students for Life of America?
Yeah, I am Jordan Mormon in Ohio and Kentucky, and sort of helping out in Tennessee once in a while whenever I can. And with the tour that we've been doing lately, it's called the See Me Now tour because we were trying to highlight the humanity of the unborn, and See Me Now, and also highlight women who have been harmed by abortion. Nobody really stops to ask what are the harmful side effects of abortion. So the See Me Now tour is to highlight the humanity of the unborn and to help women to help women who have been harmed by abortion have a voice.
Great. So, Students for Life America has student groups on high school and college campuses with the goal of abolishing abortion, right?
Right. So we have about 1,200 groups nationwide, and we actually don't stop at high school and college. We have med school and law school, and middle school and homeschool groups as well.
Great, great. And there's a really great video you're doing with your tour, and probably the easiest way is I can just link it in like the comment section where I post this video. I think the URL is seemenow.com. Is that right?
Studentsforlife.org/see me now.
Okay, great. So people can also go there. So do you want to kind of briefly explain so if you're a student at, Ohio State University or Cal Berkeley, and there's the group or the regional coordinator is tabling and a student goes up to the Students for Life table, what does that look like? Like what is walk us through what they'll see or what they'll hear about?
Yeah, sure. So we have a large display, two banners, and then a very large backdrop mural that says "See Me Now" on it, and it's a very eye-catching. It's a takes up a decent amount of space. People generally they agree or disagree. They come up, they're curious, and they come up and say generally, well, what is this about? Because we have a big sandwich board display as well that says, "Is abortion really violent?" And there's a QR code that they can scan, and we have the different procedures on the other banners. So we're there. Each regional coordinator takes it to college campuses for 4 hours at a time. I took it to 14 college campuses plus a pro-life banquet so that other pro-lifers could see what we were up to. So I spent my September traveling around like a madman, setting it up on 15 different stops. So someone will come up and generally I'll say, hey, do you want to share your thoughts on abortion? Do you want to sign our petition against dismemberment abortion? Or or rather less confrontational, what are your thoughts on our display? What are your thoughts on our messaging? People generally say it's very purple, it's very eye-popping, because they don't want to have a controversial conversation. But I've had a pretty good rate of success in chatting with people. Most people, either pro-life or pro-choice, appreciate that we're trying to highlight the women who have been harmed by abortion. We're also passing out resources from our Standing With You program. So if you're someone pregnant or parenting and you need help, you can go to standingwithyou.org. And we're also highlighting the humanity of the preborn. So we have information there about side effects of abortion, fetal development, and what happens during an abortion procedure. And then that QR code I mentioned, someone can scan that and watch a 3D fetal development video, or watch a virtual reality video about what happens during second trimester abortion. So it's very eye-catching, very compelling, because you're coming at it from the standpoint of women have been harmed by abortion. Unborn babies are human. Abortion is violent. And also, by the way, if you've had an abortion or if you're pregnant and parenting, here's help. So we're covering all the bases, and I think it's a really beautiful display. And just aesthetically, it's very eye-catching as well.
So part of the video is showing, at 6 weeks, this is a development, this is 9 weeks, 12 weeks. And we have some articles, we've covered this issue of, especially now after Texas, but I think they were doing it after, I think the media was doing it after Georgia, saying it's not a fetal heartbeat, it's a cardiac pulse, which fetal heartbeat, cardiac pulse, they're just synonyms, right? Heart, cardiac, pulse, beat, right? And, having actually heard a heartbeat 27 weeks ago or 25 weeks ago, my own child, fetal heartbeats do exist, even if the heart isn't fully, even if the cardiovascular system isn't fully formed. So what is the reaction to, are students surprised at how the fetal development works? Do you see this like saying, at 8 weeks, this is the fetal development, at 10 weeks, does that change people's mind? And why do you think that is, if it does help change their mind?
Yeah, so I actually have my rate of mind change here, and also we track what we call activations at Students for Life. So the number of people that signed a petition to stop dismemberment abortion. And I actually, at one of my tour stops, had about 25 pro-choice individuals sign that petition to end dismemberment abortion. The olive branch, or the common ground, being, yes, I'm pro-choice, but the second trimester procedure, or the baby can feel pain, the nervous system is developed around that 20-week mark, and it literally just involves dismemberment, right? That the limbs are developed. So pro-choice individuals, dozens of them, signed that petition to end the dismemberment procedure. And that's also part of what the display was about, was trying to find that common ground on a very polarizing issue between pro-lifers and pro-choicers. So for example, my tour stop on September 29th, I had 75 people approach the table, 50 of them signed the petition, and 8 people changed their mind. So on this display, out of 75 people, 67% signed the petition and 11% changed their mind on abortion to some degree. And I think a big problem is people don't know what an abortion is. And part of our display is being able to explain, hey, this baby in the second trimester has limbs and a heartbeat. And actually, as the abortionist explains in our video on our studentsforlife.org/see-me-now, people don't realize that the abortionist knows he's completed the abortion when white matter oozes out of the vaginal canal, because that's brain matter. So he's successfully completed the abortion at that point, and our display does a good job, I think, of explaining that to the point where 50 out of 75 people are willing to sign a petition, and 8 people change their mind. So I think that's pretty good.
Right, and so the video you're talking about, his name's Dr. Levatino, right? And he was an abortionist, and then he became pro-life. And I think what's interesting about this video is it's not graphic imagery in the sense we think about, and I think there's some benefits to that strategy, but it's what we call like a medically accurate, like what you would see in a medical textbook, right? It's like the photo of the baby. So it's an image, but it's not necessarily like bloody and gory, but it does still, I mean, it's like a medically accurate
It's animated, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And so do people say anything after watching that video of, I mean, I'd be interested. So one, you talk about the conversions, but are there people in denial? Like, do people say, oh, that's fake, that's not really how it happens? Have you heard those, either you or maybe from your other regional coordinators?
Yeah, it's interesting. You get a lot of people that say late-term abortions, second, third trimester abortions don't happen. I've been just flat out called a liar before, because they don't happen unless some other's life is in danger, right? That's the most common talking point. I actually had a young woman at Bellarmine University, which is allegedly a Catholic university, tell me that she approached wearing a golden crucifix, and yet late-term abortions don't happen, and abortion should be okay. But I mean, a lot of people are in denial because it's such a horrific procedure. Late-term abortions, students are surprised to learn that third trimester abortions, the heart attack abortion, they happen by injecting digoxin into the baby, which is the drug they use to execute criminals by lethal injection. The federal government uses that. And people just don't know that information. So when they learn that, they find it very compelling. 12,000 late-term abortions, third trimester abortions happen a year. People either call me a liar or they deal with it by saying, well, all of those cases are for the life of the mother, which we know is not true. So I think just telling that story and talking about the severe side effects of anxiety, depression, suicidality, just talking about information that people don't hear is effective and getting people to sign a petition or getting people to change their mind.
Good, and thank you for using heart attack abortions. I invented that term, so everyone, you can send me a nickel. So for heart attack abortions, for what people don't know, is it basically induces a heart attack, or I don't know, the media, a cardiac assault maybe is how the New York Times will rewrite that term one day to try to undermine it, but basically induce a heart attack into a baby. And as you noted, they use the same chemicals that they use to kill people on death row. And whatever people maybe think about the death penalty, I think it's just worth noting that what the state uses to execute criminals, as you noted, is what abortionists use to kill preborn babies. So maybe it's a good point you brought up. So in terms of generally, just kind of as we wrap up, so what being with working with pro-life students on campuses, what are kind of some of the general approaches that work? So maybe we have people listening who are students, or maybe they want to do pro-life activism, maybe with a group like 40 Days for Life. What are kind of the general approaches you would recommend for getting started, whether it's maybe outside of an abortion facility, or maybe they're students and it's on their campus and they just want to start, they know they're against abortion, they just don't know how to start reaching out to their peers? What would be kind of your general activism tips?
Sure. So my first bit of advice is contact your regional coordinator and see what they know, see who they can put you in contact with. People contact me, Jordan, I want to get involved with praying outside an abortion facility. I know who those people are in my area, who to get them in touch with. I'll even meet them out there myself if they've never done it before. I'm willing to do that. So just contact your regional coordinator would be my first bit of advice. My second bit of advice is to just, it sounds primitive and simplistic, but my second bit of advice is to just do it, right? Those sidewalks outside of abortion facilities are public. Grab a couple of your friends and go hold a sign or say a prayer. Or if you're nervous, which I understand, you don't have to approach the women. Just hold a sign, say a prayer, be peaceful. You can still be a pro-life witness. Get involved in local elections, get involved with your local pregnancy center, attend a talk or a training by your regional coordinator, invite a guest speaker to campus, do a flyering campaign. You can go to Students for Life headquarters, sflahq.com, for event ideas, for printouts, for free literature. And your regional coordinator will also have all that information on hand as well.
So, even you mentioned just standing outside. I think it's in the Unplanned movie about Abby Johnson. They talk about Planned Parenthood has research, or National Abortion Federation has research that just, even on just days there's people outside the abortion facility, abortions are reduced. So maybe you're not ready, you don't want to go up to women, but you are just going to stand there and pray, a rosary or hold a sign. But even that alone, and maybe there's like the 40 Days for Life group, and they have their 20 people, and you can just go and you're going to pray for 10 minutes and hold a sign. But even that just can help reduce, even that could save a life. So I'm glad you brought that up. Great. So if people want to find their regional coordinator or learn more about Students for Life, where is a good place to do that?
You can go to studentsforlife.org/staff. If you're in a hurry or you don't want to take the time to do that, you can just email your state at studentsforlife.org. So if someone wanted to get in touch with me, they would email Ohio at studentsforlife.org or Kentucky at studentsforlife.org, and an email would go straight to me.
Cool.
So yeah, and one thing I'd like to add about the tour, real quick, if you don't mind, is total in Ohio, I had hundreds of conversations, and out of those conversations, I had 54% of the people that approached to the table or conversed with me sign the petition or sign up to join their Students for Life chapter. And out of the total numbers of people I spoke with in Ohio, 9% of people changed their minds that talked with me. And in Kentucky, the activation number, the people that signed the petition or wanted to get involved with their chapter, is even higher at 57%, with minds changed at 7%. Which I am just going to say Kentucky's a red state, and that's probably why the mind change is lower and the activations are higher. But Ohio being a purple state, it's pretty exciting to see a 54% and 9%. So the tour is effective. I suspect that in other red and purple states across the country with other regional coordinators, those numbers look similar. So I think that it was good to highlight the harmful effects of abortion, women who have been harmed, and also the humanity of the unborn.
That's awesome. Great. Well, thanks for having us, and yeah, just keep us updated.